Some great news coming out of Canada. Vox reports, Canada has become the first wealthy nation in the world to fully legalize marijuana. The Senate approved Bill C-45, also known as the Cannabis Act, on Tuesday. The measure was already approved by the House of Commons, so the Senate's approval means it's now set to become law. The measure legalizes marijuana possession, home growing, and sales for adults. The federal government will oversee remaining criminal sanctions for selling to minors and the licensing of producers, while provincial governments will manage sales, distribution, and related regulations. As such, provinces will be able to impose tougher rules, such as raising the minimum age. The statute largely follows recommendations made by a federal task force on marijuana legalization. Canadian and provincial governments are expected to need 2 to 3 months before retail sales and other parts of the law can roll out. So, this is obviously great news. I think Uruguay, however you say it, they were the first country to legalize marijuana for recreational purposes, and no other country has done it since. And we have 9 states that have legalized recreational marijuana, but technically it's illegal under federal law in the U.S., so, they don't count that. It's a state, not a country. But also they point out how in Canada that they're technically violating international law because the U.S. and Canada and other countries have signed onto treaties to not do this. Those are the dumbest fucking treaties in the world. And it, by the way, that increases crime and gang violence. If you sign on to a treaty to keep these products illegal, guess what? The black market is going to thrive, and the drug cartels are going to thrive because they're going to reap all the benefits of selling these products because there's a natural demand for it out there anyway. So, this is obviously a great thing. And there was a new report from Frontier Data that came out recently. And they project that by 2020, the legal marijuana market will create more than 250,000 jobs. And there will be more jobs in the marijuana industry than there will be in manufacturing, utilities, or even government jobs. And that's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And the market for marijuana is supposed to be $11.2 billion by 2020. Right around the corner. So, this goes back to the rant I've done on this show many times over, which is, as we sit idly by while the rest of the world zooms in front of us with this stuff, that's devastating, not only from a freedom perspective, which it is if we don't legalize it and we don't legalize it quick, but it's also devastating from an economic perspective. I mean, this is a boom waiting to happen. Why would we not get out in front of that boom? Again, you have the added benefits of it lowering crime and gang violence if you legalize, tax, and regulate weed. But so much job creation. This is something that, even people on the right claim they care about. You also get deficit reduction. Look at the states that have legalized marijuana. They have so much tax money, they don't know what to do with it. They're literally giving rebates to people. I think that happened in Colorado. So why not do something that increases job creation on the private market, nonetheless, which, again, the right says they love, increases freedom and gets big government out of your life, and decreases crime. There's nothing but upsides to this. And we're dragging behind the world. We need to legalize, tax, and regulate marijuana. At the very least, decriminalize other drugs as well. And, this is the economy of the future, not just weed sales, obviously. I'm not trying to be flippant about this. But, this, and you have green technology, renewable technology, because we're going to have to get off fossil fuels as a matter of necessity. We need to dive headfirst into creating these new industries. But we're dragging our feet on that because of corruption and because of stupidity. And our northern neighbors, at least, have taken a giant step in the right direction.